call the meeting to order. It's Friday, November the 16th, it's the budget meeting. First item on the list is 2019 budget review. Ms. Katie?
Thank you, Mr. DuPont. Good afternoon, gentlemen. We are going to review the second draft of the 2019 budget. The first page is the budget summary. Not much has really changed. The library and Johnson Bayou Fire have adopted their budgets within their entity. That's reflected in these balances. The budget request that was submitted by Emily in the first meeting, it's reflected in the balances that you're going to review. Two things that I'd like to report to you. The first thing is we received a $106,000 refund for the planning assistance to the state grant that we, if you recall, 2 years ago, we paid $150,000 to the state to do their study. Ron, you probably provide more information about it to the Corps of Engineers. So anyways, they finished it, we got the completed study, and they came in under budget, so they refunded us $106,000 of the original $150,000 that we allocated to them. So in your November financial statements that we'll review probably at the end of December, you'll see that money reflected back in the cash balance. And then the second thing is Venture Global, they donated $75,000 to the Cameron Fire Department. We received the check this week. It's going to be deposited. And right now, Cameron Fire is $68,000 in the hole. We were going to fund them whatever their deficit was at the end of the year. So that $75,000 is going to offset that deficit. Probably won't have to transfer them any money by the end of December.
Good. Good. Very good.
So, like I said, nothing's really changed. This is the second draft. You guys have any questions before we move on to the budget request? Sir? The road and bridge fund's probably the main fund that had an increase in expenditures, and parish-wide garbage. The equipment that Ms. Locke requested, it's reflected in the balances, but we did get the surplus sell-in. I believe Daryl said it was $42,000 for the equipment that we sold.
Did we sell it all?
Yes.
Everything's sold. Got rid of all of it?
Well, if we don't have any questions, you guys want to move on to budget, open it up for a budget request?
Anybody got any questions? So good? Mr. Sonny? Good. Everybody good? Good job.
Okay, the only budget request that I've received in writing was from the district attorney. I believe Mr. Tom is here on her behalf.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. For the record, Tom Barrett. I don't know if this is being recorded.
Uh-huh.
All right. I'm here on behalf of the DA's office regarding Renee Dupree. The request is that Renee be reclassified. In her current position, she's capped out. Her 20 years, she's at the end. So she's not eligible for any more raises or any more increases in pay. And in order to allow her to get an increase in pay from year to year, if she were eligible, she would have to be reclassified. So that's the first thing we're asking, that she be reclassified. She currently is maxed out under her classification at $52,000. She has supplemented another $6,000 through the drug for the drug court program. So it's at 58,000 is her pay that she receives from your office. We would request that she be reclassified, a new designation, that her pay would be increased somewhat from the 52 to something more, whether it be 55, 56. And then that would be, the 6,000 drug court would be in addition to whatever that new annual pay would be. And then she would be eligible for increases based on that base pay of 54, 55, 56, whatever y'all feel is appropriate. Again, she still get the extra 6,000 from drug court, but so that may go away someday. But it is part of her compensation currently. So when you're considering that, I just want to make sure we're not missing that fact, or not running away from or hiding from that fact. So that's the request. Renee's been with the police parish for 27 years. She's a wonderful employee. She does a great job. She runs that office for us, with us being we attorneys when we're not there. She knows everybody's job. She supervises everybody. As a matter of fact, even though she may not technically be paid for it. So because of that, we're asking for that reclassification that would allow her to get an increase in pay from year to year, because she's capped at this point. So, any questions?
Yes, sir. Mr. Barrett, she's got a base pay of 52 plus a supplemental drug court, right?
Yes.
Is that it? Is there any more supplemental pay?
I don't know for sure. I'm not privy to the, I'm the assistant, I'm not the DA. Ms. Jones has money available that she supplements some or all of us in the office with from her pretrial program money. I don't know if she does or doesn't supplement Ms. Dupree. Ms. Jones would have to answer that question.
That's something you send to Ms. Jones, asking her if there's any other supplemental pay?
And I think that's, y'all need to know, what, I've talked to some of you about this, and the idea to understand you have several employees, you manage a lot of employees, or you're responsible for the policy making of a lot of employees, and there's several employees that are in a similar position as Ms. Dupree, so I know you have to consider that. But we're just here asking for Ms. Dupree.
We'll get that information.
We're gonna get some information before we can make a educated decision on what kind of step increase or what we're gonna do with her.
Sure. Okay. Well, I just appreciate y'all's consideration. All right. So we just table it till the next meeting, or?
We'll table it till we get to the next meeting.
We get that information, and I could work with them just to develop another classification for them, with a range. That way, when we get to December, you got everything there. You can either accept it or not.
Yeah,
You can give it time and work something out that
That'd be good.
We can figure that out. Just to do it where y'all have something to accept come that time when we go to adopt the budget.
That's a good idea, and I've been learning more about y'all's structure as I've become involved in this process. And again, I do respect and understand you have other employees. You have to, we can't upset the apple cart just because of one employee. But so we'll try to work within y'all's programs you have now. So, but I do appreciate it. Thank you.
They're gonna get the information and get back with us and you, and we'll put it on the agenda and go from there.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Any other questions, anybody? Yes, sir, Mr. Darrell.
No, just from while we're on the employee situation, not reclassifications, but we will be submitting 3 employees to skip steps.
Steps.
Skip a step. Within the same classification, but they either got a certification or something that sees fit. So that'll be submitted to y'all for y'all's approval as well.
Okay.
Hey Darryl, this morning we had a meeting with the judge for the committee on the courthouse.
Yes, sir.
For the security and for the federal judges and what they all want done here. You're gonna get with the sheriff and y'all gonna figure some kind of timeline on the budget side to, it's gonna have to go in the budget, we're gonna have to pay for it. for the two personnel for March.
And,
But I don't think we need to do it today in this budget, but we gotta work on it for the final
will.
budget in December.
yes, sir, it will be, you know, I mean, y'all can, you and Mr. Quinn from this morning's meeting, y'all know there's gonna be, we're gonna have to put additional money. It's just gonna be where it goes.
Right.
You know, and, I mean, I think we just kind of threw something out. I mean, because we have to provide security. They're making changes to the security plan from a
Right.
construction standpoint. So there's gonna be some costs there, some change orders and stuff that we're gonna ask for y'all's approval, and we're gonna do. But then the long-term cost, we have to provide personnel to maintain that security, and it's gonna
But you
require.
were gonna check on some other items, you were gonna check on the.
Me and the sheriff and the judge will get together, and they have some other ideas that the odd left, you know, that I'll give with y'all at the same time when we develop a plan for y'all's consideration in December.
That will be in December.
Yes, sir, we're gonna do that here, and, you know, because we need to get it in place where y'all can approve.
Okay.
Any other questions? Darryl, Katie, y'all good?
I think we have another
Good
one.
one.
Can I approach jury, please?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
I could approach the jury?
Go approach the jury.
This is court.
She needs to approach the jury.
Good afternoon. Yes, sir. I'm not sure if all y'all know or not, but we have an employee in one of the barns that will be retiring in September 2019. He has served his term. So what I'm here to ask for, in his barn, just so happens, is our parish-wide spray truck. And depending on the weather, it's hard to say if she starts spraying towards the end of March or beginning of April. With that being said, he's going to start using some of his time where he will be out a lot also. With her being gone, him being gone, they actually cut grass from Superior all of Wilshire, which takes about 3 days, half of East Trail. I would like to see if I can not replace the foreman at this time. I would like to replace an employee. The other thing that I would also ask of the jury to consider is letting me move Shane Manuel, which what he does, if y'all remember correctly, whenever I done this, he works under me, and he also kind of like oversees, make sure some of the work orders get done, where he's all over, you know, checking on all the guys and stuff. I would like to use him as the foreman position in Sweet Lake that he does, still continue to help me and do everything that we put on his plate to do, and oversee Grationier instead of hiring a foreman at this time. With that being said, I would like us to have him do that all of next year. Let's revisit November, December budget time, make sure see how it works, make sure there's no problems or anything, and if there's not, then we just don't replace the foreman at that time. And if there is some problems that he can't handle it all, because we don't know what's coming to us with the Venture Global and everything going on, then maybe we'll, you know, check into hiring a foreman. Or not hire a foreman, I'm sorry, promote someone as a foreman. And I kind of wanted to see y'all's feedback. One of the things that I would like to do with Mitch getting ready to start leaving, because like I said, he's going to start using his time come January. I would like to see maybe if we could put it on the afternoon agenda, if y'all are fine with it and good with it, to go ahead and advertise and try to get somebody hired to start the beginning of January.
I like it.
That's a labor hand.
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Be entry level
It's
position.
good, I know right now, he goes, we got 2 men on that property, he'll go swing by there, check on them, and he's in Sweet Lake, which there's not much going on there, and Ranch here's just a house get jump away, and, wouldn't have to hire a foreman for right now. So Mitch is a working foreman, so we do that. And most time when things get too busy, contact hours, she'll see somebody in the ranch near, or wherever we can pull somebody from. So it works out good. Yeah.
We just need to make sure we don't stretch one person.
Right, right. And he's been.
Because I say that based on the liability. You know, you a foreman, there's some liabilities. You know, you're gonna
That's why we can
be asking one employee to run 2 crews and help out you.
Well, actually, what we did was we,
I mean, and Shane is that good, he probably do a good
Right.
job at it, don't get me wrong.
Right.
I'm just saying,
well, what we kind of did on our own, we have someone that's at that barn now that we've already, not trained for the position of a foreman by no means, but he has the iPad, he does the work orders. When someone sends something, it was to kind of help alleviate some of that for Shane to make sure. So most of the time, he's already the one that's scheduling all the work to be done. So that way Shane wasn't too busy where he couldn't, learn my position and also, to kind of be all over the place. So right now, I think we're good with that one employee in Sweet Lake kind of overstepping, and we pull the two parish-wide hands all the time. I mean, we always have them somewhere.
Basically, you got kind of a lead guy, lead hand in Grand Lake right there.
Yes, and he doesn't get anything extra for it. It's a pat on the back. He volunteered, actually, me and him kind of talked about it, because he could see where it looked like I was using Shane a little bit more and stuff. So he stepped up to the plate and said, look, I don't mind helping him. There was an extra iPad, so it was like, here you go,
And with being hiring somebody coming in, even though it's a laborer coming on the road crew, if you had need be, you can put somebody doing more work with like Mitchell does.
Mm-hmm.
And not be affected because you got the,
Chloe, you got to take Susie and Mitchell out of the picture.
Two.
That's your decision,
I've been out there, so.
your decision, do what you gotta do.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
It could be a trial, it could be a trial.
I think we're at a point where we need to, if somebody's gonna retire, we need to replace, we done downgraded these crews.
We're 31 with me. There is 2 that's out for that workers' comp, which not sure when's the day ever return. So counting me, we have like 31 employees at Room Bridge. And we were at 36 at one time. So,
I'm good with it.
Your decision.
We got a really good decision.
We need to vote on something?
yeah.
Yeah.
To the agenda meeting. I mean,
Authority
voting
to
meeting.
advertise.
I'm gonna add authority to hire road and bridge person.
And y'all are
Everybody
fine?
do
Put her on there.
you're being able to keep up with everything going on right now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They
And,
got new things, they can tell you what they
Yeah.
said.
The two guys that we put under me, which was Shane and Wesley, anytime that I'm not here, there's been very seldom that I've had to leave in the middle of the day where there's been nobody. Unfortunately, she's back there and she picks up everybody's slack, including mine. She got her head down, she ain't listening today. So,
I'm writing.
Thank you, Mary.
You're
So,
welcome.
no, I mean, they come in when I'm not here. They still struggle a little bit with the phone, which so do I, because sometimes it's hard to know when it rings in my office. So, I'm still working with them, honestly, with our phone on that part. They're scared they're gonna answer it for somebody else.
And I put too much load on one person, cause I think the load the wagon.
Oh, I've heard that a long time.
Fixing it.
He been loading that wagon for 10 years.
Pull the wheel.
Thank you.
I'm just picking.
Anything else?
Anything else, Katie?
Katie, Carol?
I didn't have any other requests that submitted, so
The summary of the equipment, what would that be at?
the summary of the equipment,
We're gonna purchase, I know we talked about it last.
I can give you a summary. I have a sheet I can give you if you want to see everything we're gonna purchase. Half of it's in Road and Bridge, half of it's in Parish-wide garbage.
It's just gonna be a line item.
I just wanna see.
Just gonna be a line item. She has to get the list.
Talking about the garbage in Parish Line, have y'all seen the ad on Facebook where they're washing a trash can out?
Yeah.
They showed this machine washing a trash can, pressure washing,
Yeah.
and it's in Cameron Parish.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty neat.
I don't know, it's some company,
Oh, it's a company.
yeah, they drive up this unit, they stick the can in there, and they wash it out and pull it out, and they pressure wash the bottom of it, it's steaming. And it's Cameron Parish,
No. All right, yes, sir.
How much, what was that equipment, the summary that was sold?
42,000, everything sold. A little bit over 42,000.
Mr. Boyle, you don't have a copy of that, sir?
No,
He was
sir.
talking, he
The
should have been
staff did
paying
not-
attention.
The staff did not debrief me prior to the budget meeting.
He didn't fill the card out.
You didn't fill a card out, sir. You said it in public.
I might.
Better hold on to that reindeer, better hold on to that reindeer, keep it close to you.
All right, she said, we'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion by Mr. Park, second by Mr. Beard, all in favor? Motion